Asking for immediate return to constitutional order, the release of the president and anybody else who's being detained.
On the news tonight, ECOWAS leaders condemn the coup in Burkina Faso, order immediate return to constitutional democracy. Nigeria and Egypt to leverage on culture as a tool for the enhancement of national unity.
It's our target to finish the main carriageway before 2023.
Also tonight, Works and Housing Minister takes a trip on the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Highway under construction. Good evening. This is NTA Network News. We're live in Abuja. I am Jummai Yusuf. Adiola Kamiakere is in Lagos and Muhammad Ibrahim will be joining us from our Maiduguri studio. Welcome. Remember, you can follow these news broadcasts live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News, Twitter at NTA News Now, and Instagram, NTA Network for updates. Let's get the news. An extraordinary session of the Authority of Heads of States and Government of ECOWAS on the recent coup in Burkina Faso has ended with a demand on an immediate return to constitutional democracy. President Muhammadu Buhari participated at the virtual engagement convened by ECOWAS Chairman and President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
The military takeover of power in Burkina Faso on the 24th of this month was characterized by the arrest and detention of President Christian Kabore and other senior government officials, as well as the dissolution of the country's parliament. For Nigeria, this situation, which followed the examples set in Mali and Guinea, is a bad signal with negative consequences on the democratic challenges that West Africa now faces. It believes that the gains of democracy in the sub-region will be reverted.
We condemn the coup and asking for immediate return to constitutional order, the release of the president and anybody else who's being detained, and to cooperate with ECOWAS and to be part of ECOWAS, decisions.
At the closed-door engagement, President Muhammadu Buhari and other ECOWAS leaders took turns to critically analyze the situation in Burkina Faso and gave suggestions on the best way forward. ECOWAS, they admit, is at a very complex and dangerous crossroads, hence the need for effective collaboration, cooperation, and decisive steps by member states towards reversing the military action in Burkina Faso and paving the way for a return to constitutional democracy.
That the chiefs of defense staffs of the ECOWAS member states should head tomorrow to Burkina Faso to assess the situation from a strategic, also military angle, and to be followed immediately by a visit of a team of ministers of foreign affairs of ECOWAS countries, again to assess the situation and then report to a meeting of the heads of states.
What happens if those demands are not met?
Well, that will now be for the summit meeting. To now, that's what I'm saying, take a definitive decision, because they would have had the benefit of the input of the chiefs of defense staffs, the benefit of the input of the ministers of foreign affairs who would have gone there, and then they would be in a position to now take an informed and definitive decision.
The heads of state and government say they are determined to move ECOWAS away from the critical crossroads in favor of sustainable democracy, good governance, and development. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has given a pat on the back to the Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun for his tenacity of purpose and commitment to changing the face of the Gateway State, as well as enhancing the living standards of the people. This was while receiving a high-powered delegation from the state on a thank-you visit. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
President Muhammadu Buhari was in Ogun State a fortnight ago, during which several landmark and legacy projects in critical sectors of the economy were inaugurated. Giving his impression shortly after, the president described Governor Dapo Abiodun as an example of promises made, promises kept.
Your Excellency, well done. I am proud of what you have done for your state and your people.
I am extremely excited. I am further motivated and encouraged to build on what we've done that Mr. President has seen, and we indeed will continue to ensure that that trust by the good people of the state is continuously justified.
Governor Abiodun is therefore here in the State House with a high-powered delegation comprising former governor of the state, Segun Oshoba, and the chairman, State Council of Obas, Babatunde Ajayi, to say thank you to the president for his visit, which he described as monumental. He said the president demonstrated sincere love to the people and indeed the gateway state where he began his military career in the 60s. The governor speaks on the secrets behind the infrastructural revolution in the state by its administration.
We are merely pursuing our vision to provide a focused and qualitative governance, whilst creating an enabling environment for a public-private sector partnership, which is fundamental to the economic growth of the state and individual prosperity. So by doing that, we have grown our AGR. By December, we are done about 100 billion in Nigeria. That is the highest ever.
During the visit, the Akarigbo of Remo Land, Oba Babatunde Ajayi, who is the chairman of the State Council of Obas, appreciated President Buhari for being part of history of Ogun State. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Let's talk security. The House of Representatives Special Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution has voted against the bill seeking amendment to Section 214 of the Constitution to enable the creation of state police. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The Special Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, chaired by the Deputy Speaker Ahmed Idris, has since its inauguration received 128 requests for amendments of some sections of the Constitution, 52 of which passed second reading. At the sitting of the committee, bills seeking creation of state police, immunity for presiding officers of national and state assemblies and judicial officers were some of those rejected.
Some of these things are done to address the excesses of the recklessness of certain office holders. And I believe it has happened in the past. It's not about ourselves, it's about the system. Protecting the system so that we'll have the best out of it.
The bill seeking creation of 111 special seats exclusive for women in the National Assembly was approved to enable more women inclusion. The committee hopes to conclude the assignments before the end of the first quarter of 2022. Public hearings at zonal levels were held by the committee in June 2021 on the constitution amendment process. Meanwhile, the House Committee on Host Communities says it will not hesitate to issue legislative summon on any organization in its bid to ensure adherence to laid down regulations by operators in the oil and gas sector.
Sections 88 and 89 makes it mandatory for anybody to come before us whenever we have need to interact. This place is not a slaughterhouse, it's not a place where you come to fight. It's a place where we come to hope to resolve issues.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The National Defense College is to review its curriculum to enhance combat readiness of personnel and ensure they operate at optimum level. The commandant of the college, Rear Admiral Murtala Bashir, stated this in Abuja at the college's steering group retreat. Ismail Musa reports.
Nigeria is facing different internal security challenges in different parts of the country, with the military policing virtually all states of the Federation. To further upscale troops' combat efficiency in ongoing internal security operations, the National Defense College, the apex military training institution, is conducting a retreat for the college steering group to enhance their performance.
It is important, therefore, that the college curriculum and programs be tweaked to reflect contemporary demands in knowledge and research as we meet global best practices in the issues of defense, security, and national development.
We're also seeing the advent of artificial intelligence.
To the commandant of the college, Rear Admiral Murtala Bashir, besides appraising and re-evaluating its performances, it will also review the curriculum of the institution and inject new specified criteria.
We want to introduce some capstone courses and exercises, not only for the participants. We want to also involve some personnel from the ministries, departments and agencies.
There are also moves to award master's degree to participants after their 11 months intensive training at the institution. The maiden steering group retreat, which coincides with the 30th anniversary of the college, is aimed at further repositioning the college as a center of excellence. From the National Defense College in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has reiterated the commitment of the Nigerian armed forces to end banditry in the northwest and other forms of security challenges bedeviling the country. General Farouk Yahya stated this while on an operational visit to Jigawa State as part of his ongoing tour of the zone. Muhammad Askira has details.
The second Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, is visiting Jigawa State for the first time since his appointment in May last year. The visit was mainly to assess security situation and the condition of army formations in Jigawa State. The Chief of Army Staff entourage was received by the State Deputy Governor, Umar Namadi.
I was also here at the barracks before, at the GOC1 Division, and I have seen development that have gone up there, and I know also the support of the state government in that and in our other operations, including Operation Salama. I want to appreciate the state government for all its effort, all its contributions toward that operation, and urge not to relent.
All the ward heads and the village heads and the district heads, they have been instructed, clear instructions is given to them that if you have any stranger in the community which is known, she should be watched, and his activities should also be watched. And where you have seen something abnormal, that should be reported to the district, to the village head.
The Chief of Army Staff was also at the palace of the Emir of Dutse, Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sunusi, where he sought for the blessings of the Royal Father and prayers for peace and security in the country. From Dutse, Muhammad Askira, NTA News.
Now let's bring you up to speed with other news making the rounds. For Nigeria to attain its deserved position among developed states, leaders will break down the walls of prejudice and build bridges across ethnic boundaries. This was the position of Vice President Yemi Onshibajo at the first annual General Assembly of Catholics in Politics and Business. Ekene Ndulue reports.
Advancement of the common good towards justice, unity, structure and development of Nigeria is the reason for this gathering. The forum is seeking to push forward the teachings of the Catholic Church to help guide Christians in making decisions that will better the society. The Vice President acknowledged that with higher values, individuals have the power to alter negative conditions of society.
People hide under all manner of parochial parochial affiliations to be able to dodge justice in one shape or form or the other. But I think it is important for us as men and women of faith that justice must be balanced and it must be equal.
For the various leaders, values as presented by the Catholic Church can redeem politics in Nigeria.
It's not only about the person that is governing, but also that the person that is being governed. Everybody has a responsibility. And I think that is a message for all of us to sit down, reflect on it.
We must project that image that our faith asks us to project. And that image is to love our neighbor as ourselves and do the will of God in everything that we do.
As the gathering closes for the day, it was agreed that it is time Nigerians looked out for those with integrity to ensure good governance in the country. Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Nigeria and Egypt have resolved to focus on how to adapt culture as a vehicle for the promotion of national unity. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed and his Egyptian counterpart, Secretary General and Minister of State Supreme Council for Culture, Dr. Hisham Azimi, agreed to this mode of fostering national unity when Lai Mohammed visited Council. Anthony Fossen reports.
Briefed Dr. Hisham Azmi of the rich cultural endowment of Nigeria, Lai Mohammed was particular about how Egypt has successfully turned its cultural heritage to a huge revenue earner for the country. He pointed out that Nigeria is equally on the path, hence the present administration's commitment towards diversifying its economy. Responding, Dr. Hisham enumerated areas of the Egyptian culture which his country has consistently leveraged on to ensure that the unity of the country is not compromised. Recalling the security challenges the country has to contend with, he maintained that the Egyptian culture has remained a rallying point and a tool for progress. At another engagement with the Minister of Communication and Information Technology, the menace of social media was discussed, where Lai Mohammed briefed his host on a number of efforts the Nigerian government has made to sanitize the social media ecosystem, citing the ban on Twitter and other reforms which are still ongoing. The Egyptian minister, Amr Talat, applauded the courage of the Nigerian government, saying such moves are sure ways sanity can prevail. At the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, it was more like coasting home to victory on moves to repatriate stolen artifacts from Nigeria. The Egyptian Minister for Tourism and Antiquities told Lai Mohammed that Egypt will assist Nigeria in putting up a mechanism that will help preserve looted artifacts from Nigeria when they are returned.
We can put you in contact as well with the Ministry of Higher Education, with the tourism sector. We have, I think, more than 12 faculties in tourism and hotel management and tour guides. So I think that we can serve as link with the Ministry of Higher Education to support you in this field.
With an invitation extended to Lai Mohammed and heads of agencies under his ministry to attend the forthcoming conference on antiquities scheduled for June this year, Lai Mohammed, while accepting the invitation, promised to deepen the collaboration.
We signed a treaty, an agreement with the U.S. To ensure that when stolen artifacts dating between 1500 BC and the New York Metropolitan Museum has just returned 4 of our very valuable artwork. So we've embarked on a very aggressive pursuit.
Okay.
In company of the minister during his engagements in Cairo are the Director General Nigerian Television Authority, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, the Director General Radio Nigeria, Malam Mansur Liman, the Director General NBC, Malam Shehu Balarabe Ilela, and the Nigerian Ambassador to Egypt, Noura Abarimi. Anthony Forson, NTA News.
You are watching NTA Network News. The news returns shortly. Everyone at some point needs privacy in their lives, but to have it, one must be mindful of invaders who might be intentionally or unintentionally lurking. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson reports that this practice applies to data privacy protection, which is being advocated for the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDDA, as they celebrate Global Data Privacy Day.
It's day 5 of the National Data Privacy Week, a commemoration that has been running on the theme Data Economics in a Digital Economy, charting Nigeria's data strategy. The journey of data protection in Nigeria started in January 2019 with the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, NDPR. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy Professor Isa Ali Pantami, who was formerly the DG of the National Information Technology Development Agency, initiated the journey.
The only comprehensive regulation we have in Nigeria so far is Nigeria Data Protection Regulation. It is because of this, I think the journey so far is highly commendable. And the federal government of Nigeria is working day in, day out to integrate this existing legislation into full law.
Data drives digital economy.
And digital economy drives the growth of traditional economy. We can harness the potentials of this technology and avoid its perils.
The event also featured presentation of the NDPR performance report to the minister and prizes to some students who aced the quiz and debate competitions. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
You're welcome back. Nigeria and Africa Biologics Limited, MESA, have signed an MOU on a clinical study of intranasal COVID-19 vaccine. Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehenere, said this during the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. The country has leveraged on partnerships and resources to guide strategic public health plan and overall response to protect Nigerians. Director of Africa Biologics Limited, Dr. Mohammed Ali Pati, said the MESA vaccine has all the qualities that are needed for a global COVID-19 vaccine that can control SARS-CoV-2 beyond COVID-19. This partnership is another step in building clinical research and manufacturing capacity for biologics for Nigeria and Africa. And to shed more light and insight into the intranasal COVID-19 vaccine is the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehenere. You're welcome to Network News.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you.
There seems to be a new narrative in the COVID-19 fight, and specifically the intranasal vaccine, which I just mentioned in the intro, and other countries are exploring it. India is one. Nigeria signed a memorandum of understanding, into that regard. So tell us, what is it all about and how easy or efficient is it?
Well, it is about science. Science is always looking for new and better ways of solving problems. And the question of COVID-19 being around for a long time is triggering scientists to find ways of dealing with it. If vaccines are the best ways to deal with COVID-19, how do we administer? And we administer right now by injection. So science is looking for easier, better, cheaper, more effective ways. And that's how MESA Vaccines of Redwood, California came upon the intranasal use of vaccines, which may be more acceptable, cheaper, easier to give, and can be, if necessary, repeatedly given.
So it's a relief for those who don't like injections, actually.
Very good.
Some people don't.
Very good. It's a relief for those ones.
Exactly. So what is the comparative analysis that was made between the nasal vaccine and the conventional COVID-19 vaccine?
Yeah, that's exactly the essence of the science, in that you carry out studies to find out, first of all, what are the side effects, how much better is it, how much cheaper it is. And the first details coming out right now is that the intranasal application will give you longer lasting effect and more protection, mucosa protection in the nose, because this is a respiratory virus, and it's also cheaper to manufacture. And Nigeria has hopes of being a manufacturing center for this vaccine when it comes out. And on the whole, offers a lot of benefit compared to the injectable vaccine, because it requires less training, less sophistication in applying it, and less risks.
Okay, where is it originating from?
From the United States, this particular study, and Nigeria is going to participate in the clinical trials. That is the essence of the memorandum of understanding that we signed in Boston, Massachusetts, for Nigerian scientists. We are still going to appoint a principal investigator for it here, and then to work with the MESA vaccines to have Nigeria as a hub that does this trial and enters the scientific investigation world, and eventually producing these vaccines.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, maybe away from this topic. What's happening to our traditional medicine practitioners who claim that they sort of have a vaccine that can cure coronavirus or COVID-19? What's happening to their research out there?
Well, we take every suggestion seriously, and we do exactly the same process. Just like a MESA vaccine says we have an intranasal vaccine that can do better, and we subject it to trial. That is a clinical trial I'm talking about now. It is still a study. It is not the use yet, but it's a study to say, yes, what the producer says it does, it actually does. So if you have traditional medicines that are brought forward, the same process has to go through. Does it really do what the producer says it does? And we're going to test it. We're going to see that it's safe, it doesn't cause extra problem, and it actually heals. So if it passes those tests, it goes into use.
That's quite encouraging. On that note, thank you so much for coming on Network News.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
As always.
Thank you.
I've been talking with the Minister of Health, Dr. Osagi Erenere, and we're shedding more light on the new narrative on COVID-19. Works on the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano highway is speeding up, with contractors set to meet the year 2023 handover deadline. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Raji Fashola traveled the about 376 kilometers highway, insisting on quality from contractors and the right of way from the public. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
Wheeling out of the city of Kano was a mixture of diversions. From a lane with men and machines laying out brand new roads to another completed with lay markings waiting for handing over.
About 643 equipment deployed.
This is the reality of the progress of work, as well as the value of its finished product. The Minister of Works and Housing has savored. To those who worry about the finish line, he says it's more of the quality than speed.
The asphalt that is laid must be laid at a specific temperature. When they are laying asphalt, I think you should come. You will see that they insert thermometers there to ensure that the temperature is right. So we are not going to compromise all of that quality, otherwise the road will fail. And we have only 24 hours in one day to work. And we want to avoid accidents also. It's our target to finish the main carriageway before 2023, May 29. And we are doing our very best to, and the President is also involved in this because we meet with his Chief of Staff every month.
And that speaks for itself. An environmentally friendly method of road construction with a world-class output. And what a way to cheer up the men whose blessed hands do the magic. On Kano, Kaduna, Abuja Highway, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
A section of the shoe-side market along Obudu-Ukwa-Owerri Road, Onitsha, was razed early hours of today. Eyewitness account says the fire sparked shortly after a tanker load of fuel fell and spilled its content while struggling with touts in the area. The fire was put under control through the help of traders. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has extended his heartfelt condolences to the victims of the fire incident at the main market and relief market in Onitsha and Anambra State, respectively, which reportedly destroyed several goods. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, stated that President Buhari has directed federal government's agencies working with the state government to give the necessary succor, while also urging public-spirited individuals and corporate organizations to assist those whose means of livelihood have been affected by the unfortunate incidents. Next is Lagos, and Adiola is standing by with more reports.
Thank you, Jumai. Nigeria is on the verge of attaining health android medicine security despite the challenges confronting the nation. This is the summation of the impression of a National Assembly and the Pharmacists Council of Nigeria after a facility tour of a newly constructed Emzo Pharmaceutical company located in Shagamu, Ogun State. Samuel Johnson reports that Emzo Pharmaceutical Company has about 200 drugs on its product list.
The experiences of developing nations during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, especially the alleged hoarding of approved vaccines by industrialized nations, made it imperative for developing nations to look inwards with about 200 drugs on its list, and this edifice equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. Emzo Pharmaceutical Company, a foremost Nigerian pharmaceutical organization with international touches, appears to be ready to fill the gap. This informs the facility tour by a delegation of the National Assembly with the Senate Committee on Health and the House of Representatives counterpart taking the lead.
During the COVID era, everywhere in the world was closed down. And if a country is dependent on importation of drugs, it means there's no security in that country. When we talk about security, security is not only because you see banditry and so on. Health security is very, very important.
My confidence is restored following the facility tour we have done
considering the number of products that are produced by the company and also the talented youth.
This particular facility has been inspected and approved and licensed to manufacture pharmaceutical products. So, having said that, I'm very proud as a pharmacist, I'm very proud as a Nigerian that we have this facility in this country.
Executive Director of the company, Uzoma Ezeoke, noted that Emzor Pharmaceutical Company has 15 international agencies on its list of benefiting organizations, among other achievements on the international scene.
We promote unlimited wellness, which to us translates as having quality products available and affordable. This factory can stand on any continent.
The facility tour is one of the activities preceding the formal inauguration of the ultra-modern pharmaceutical outfits. In Lagos, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
Now, the clamor for peaceful coexistence, dialogue and reconciliation in nation building is not negotiable. This assertion was re-echoed at the inauguration of coordinators for the United Nations International Peace Council Southwest Zone in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
Looking into the nation's history, the outbreak of violence, pandemonium and spate of hate speech has caused great havoc to the detriment of national development. This is why the federal government has continued to champion campaigns against all vices to promote understanding and assist the citizens to value their diversity. To further strengthen the cord of unity and love among Nigerians, the United Nations International Peace Council has appointed agents of change in conflict resolution, peace mediation, and advocacy of transformative dialogue from Southwest Zone to harp on benefits of peaceful coexistence at their communities and neighborhood.
Don't love ourselves. That is the reason why we are maiming and killing ourselves. So we believe that we should inaugurate these people so that they can be the ambassador of peace in their various environments.
While the International Peace Council has been an advocate of sustainable peace through networking and coordination, the management is exploring other conflict management strategies to achieve its goals.
The coordinators, we gave them that authority to move around, whether it's crisis, conflict, they are expected to mediate.
The value of peace is enormous. You can't compare it when we talk about conflicts.
To execute the task of ensuring peace at the local, states and zonal level, the coordinators say carrot and stick approach will be applied.
We are collaborating with INEC for peaceful election in Nigeria.
We try our possible best in order to bring peace to the nation at large.
The United Nations International Peace Council of Nigeria, a body saddled with the promotion of peace and conflict management, has presence in 24 countries. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Lagos. You're still watching the network news on NTA. Remember, you can also follow this news live online on our Twitter handle.
Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari wishes the former Minister of Labour and Productivity, Dr. Emeka Wogu, more years of health and happiness as he turns 57 years. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says President Buhari recognizes Chief Wogu's commitment and service to the country in different positions of leadership. The President joins family, friends and well-wishers in praying for enduring strength, grace and wisdom for the former minister to do more for humanity. The chairman of the All Progressives Congress 2022 Ekiti governorship primary election and governor of Jigawa State, Mohammed Abubakar Badaru, has appealed to aspirants that lost during this January 27, 2022 primary election to accept defeat and work for the party. The governor submitted the report of the primary election at Buhari House, National Secretariat of the APC. Saliu Gwanara reports.
Although details of the report submitted to the party's director organization was not made public, with this official submission, the Governor Mohammed Badaru-led Ekiti Governorship Primary Election Committee has concluded its exercise, having announced Biodun Oyebanji winner and candidate of the APC ahead of the June 18, 2022 governorship election.
What we expect them is to join hands with us so that we continue to build the party and we continue to support the candidate that emerges.
Meanwhile, APC stalwarts who are taking advantage of the Abdullahi Adamu-led National Reconciliation Committee are confident that the party will go into the February 26, 2022 National Convention united.
So I believe that the steps we are taking now with the upcoming convention will put us in a strong position to get ready for the next general elections. And people may say what they want to say, but the party is getting stronger and stronger in the grassroots.
Where possible, we were able to conclusively do justice to what was before us, and in cases where there were some complexities, we managed to get as close as possible to what we see as a resolution of the conflict.
Abdullahi Adamu assured party faithful that the committee's terms of reference remains a guiding principle in its engagements so far. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Time to join Mohammed Ibrahim in Maiduguri for stories making rounds in that zone. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello, Jume. Thanks a lot for joining us in Maiduguri. Borno State government has approved 50 million naira for renovation as well as presented ambulance and hospital equipment to Sunni Hospital, a non-profit and faith-based hospital established in 1994 to cater for health needs of the less privileged in society. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum announced the cash support and presented equipment to management of the hospital with assurance of continued support. Mohammed Goni reports.
Sunni Hospital, located in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, is a non-profit making and faith-based hospital established to cater for the health needs of the less privileged in the society. The governor, who noted the humanitarian services being rendered at the hospital in the last 27 years, also paid tribute to late Tijani Bolori for the services to humanity and urged the hospital management to submit its requirement for government's attention, even as he assured payment of allowances for 2 doctors and 4 nurses the hospital will employ to enhance its services. He announced the sum of 50,000 naira support to each of the 42 staff working there.
In addition to the 50 million, it is my prayer, sincere prayer that we shall continue with this giant strides even after I leave this office.
Chief Medical Director, Hospital Management Board, Professor Arab Alaji said the hospital needs were provided in line with the governor's case to make healthcare services accessible to the less privileged. Governor Bagana Umara also visited Maiduguri Eyes and Dental Hospitals and inspected facilities in the 2 hospitals located in the same premises, where the heads of the 2 hospitals briefed the governor on operations and challenges in their hospitals. In both hospitals visited, Governor Zulum directed the medical directors to submit their requirements for government's attention and further assured to provide more offices and staff quarters. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
On recovery, United Nations Development Programme UNDP has donated 2 trucks to Borno State government as part of the UN agency's support to logistic need of the state in carrying out reconstruction, rehabilitation and resettlement projects. The presentation was held at the Trailer Park, Maiduguri. Yagun Subuka reports.
The 2 trucks were presented to Borno State Commissioner for Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement, Engineer Mustafa Gubio, by the head of stabilization of the UNDP, Simon Ridley. While presenting the trucks, Simon Ridley said the donation is part of UNDP's contribution towards stabilization effort of the state through the Ministry of Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement.
These will play an important role in helping with some of the important work that the government of Borno is leading in making Borno a prosperous and safe place.
Borno State Commissioner for Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement, Engineer Mustafa Gubio, said currently the state is in dire need of heavy-duty trucks in its ongoing reconstruction, rehabilitation and resettlement effort across destroyed communities in all parts of the state. The UNDP delegation then proceeded to the Commissioner's office, where both parties had a review of UNDP's intervention so far in various areas, especially housing, infrastructure development, with a view to completing them in earnest. After successful completion of the houses across the state, the UNDP acting head of stabilization assured that the agency will support beneficiaries of the houses with skills and livelihood provisions. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
And those are the stories from this end. Is back to Juma in the nation's capital, Abuja.